Welcome! In this lecture, we're going to explore one of the most essential and sometimes overlooked skills in project management, tailoring. If you've ever tried to manage a project using a rigid framework and it felt like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, then you've already experienced the need for tailoring. Tailoring is the deliberate and thoughtful process of adapting your project management methods, processes, tools, and team engagement to better align with the specific context of your project and organization. Let's walk through what tailoring really means, why it matters, how it's done, and how you can start applying it effectively across various project domains. Tailoring refers to customizing your approach. It's about adjusting governance structures, processes, tools, and even team structures so they're more suitable for the project at hand. Rather than applying a standard methodology verbatim, tailoring allows you to make the approach fit the environment rather than forcing the environment to fit the approach. Tailoring involves understanding the project context, goals, and operating environment. Projects operate in complex environments that need to balance potentially competing demands that include but are not limited to delivering as quickly as possible, minimizing project costs, optimizing the value delivered, creating high-quality deliverables and outcomes, providing compliance with regulatory standards, satisfying diverse stakeholder expectations, and adapting to change. It's not about cutting corners, it's about alignment. For example, if your organization strongly values customer centricity, then your planning and delivery processes should naturally incorporate more direct feedback from customers. Similarly, if your company is risk-averse, it may require more checks and controls, perhaps even additional documentation or review steps. On the flip side, a more agile, risk-tolerant organization may be comfortable with lighter documentation and faster decision cycles. What's important to understand is that tailoring is happening all the time, even if we don't call it that. Whenever you adjust your reporting cadence, skip a redundant meeting, or simplify a form, you're tailoring. So why bother tailoring? Well, because no two projects are the same. Think about the difference between managing a project to build a new hospital wing versus launching a mobile app. One is tightly regulated, complex, and risk-sensitive. The other may be fast-moving, iterative, and user-driven. Using the same level of formality, documentation, or stakeholder review for both would be wasteful for one and insufficient for the other. Tailoring helps ensure you're applying the right amount of structure. Not too much, so you're not bogged down by unnecessary overhead. And not too little, so you're not skipping steps that ensure quality and alignment. Tailoring also increases team buy-in because the team has a say in how the work gets done. And let's not forget the customer. Tailored processes often produce solutions that are more closely aligned to customer needs. Now let's talk about what exactly can be tailored. It's more than just changing a form or dropping a meeting. It involves 5 major areas. First, there's the life cycle and development approach. For example, you might use a traditional waterfall model for a building construction, but adopt agile sprints for software that power systems inside that building. Or you might blend both into a hybrid approach. Second are your processes. You can add steps, remove steps, modify how things are done, or combine approaches. Maybe you need to add a quality review that isn't standard, or perhaps you streamline communication for a collocated team by removing formal meeting minutes. Next, there's engagement. This means thinking about who should be involved in the project, what level of authority or decision-making power they have, and how to bring together diverse contributors from inside and outside the organization into one effective team. Then we have tools, what software or systems you'll use to manage tasks, track deliverables, or share updates. A small team may prefer a simple shared spreadsheet, while a large enterprise project might require complex software with dashboards and real-time collaboration features. Finally, we tailor methods and artifacts, the templates, documents, checklists, and other materials we use. It's about using what makes sense and customizing those tools so they fit the people and the work. Now that we know what we can tailor, let's talk about how to actually do it. The tailoring process typically unfolds in 4 steps. Step 1. Select your initial development approach. This is where you evaluate whether your project is best served by a predictive, adaptive, or hybrid model. Think about things like the stability of requirements, the speed of delivery, and how much customer interaction is needed. A suitability filter or decision matrix can help you make this determination. Step 2. Tailor for the organization. Every organization has some level of governance, policies, procedures, maybe even a formal project management methodology. Tailoring here involves aligning with those guardrails while still making adjustments to suit your specific project. For instance, if your organization has a project management office, you may need their approval before deviating from standard templates or processes. Step 3. Tailor for the project. This is where you get specific. What are the unique elements of your project's deliverables, your team, and your working culture? Is your product highly regulated? Is your team experienced or new? Are your stakeholders global? Each answer leads you to specific tailoring decisions. Maybe you add a regulatory compliance review, or perhaps you use asynchronous tools because your team is spread across time zones. Step 4. Implement ongoing improvement. Tailoring isn't something you do once and forget. As your project evolves, you'll need to revisit your approach. This could happen during retrospectives, phase gates, or post-milestone reviews. Maybe you discover your meeting schedule is too rigid, or your reporting isn't giving useful data. Tailor again. The best project teams treat their process as a living system, always open to improvement. Tailoring doesn't stop at the structural level. It carries through into all 8 PMI performance domains. In the stakeholder domain, you may need to tailor your communication strategies depending on whether your stakeholders are internal, external, multilingual, or operating in different time zones. In the team domain, tailoring might involve choosing how teams are formed, how they collaborate, and what kind of support or development they need. For development approach and lifecycle, you tailor by selecting the right cadence, maybe short iterative sprints for fast feedback, or long milestones for well-defined outputs. In planning, tailoring could mean how you estimate costs, forecast timelines, or deal with procurement across multiple jurisdictions. Project work might require tailored knowledge-sharing systems. Maybe your organization doesn't have a central knowledge base yet, so you design one that fits your team's way of working. Delivery tailoring might involve how you manage quality, requirements, and compliance. Maybe your industry has strict regulations, or maybe it's innovation-driven and values speed over perfection. Uncertainty management is a big one, tailoring your risk processes based on complexity, novelty, or strategic importance. And in measurement, you tailor what success looks like. Is it customer satisfaction? ROI? Speed to market? Tailoring your metrics ensures you're aiming at the right target. Even with careful planning, no tailoring decision is final. Diagnostics like retrospectives, stakeholder feedback, and performance metrics help you know when to refine your approach. Ask yourself, are things running smoothly? Are our tools still working for us? Are there signs of inefficiency or team frustration? If the answer to these are satisfying, great, keep going. If not, go back and tweak. Tailoring is part of an agile mindset, even if you're not using agile methodology. To wrap up, tailoring is the strategic customization of your project management practices so they fit your organization and project. It's not about breaking rules. It's about being flexible within structure, responsive to context, and focused on value. The process includes selecting an approach, tailoring it to the organization, tailoring it further to the project itself, and keeping it dynamic with regular improvement. Tailoring can occur in methods, tools, teams, life cycles, and across every domain of project work. So remember, effective project managers don't just manage, they design their way of working. Tailoring is your tool for doing just that. Thanks for watching!